Welcome to Rainbow Soul Vodcast, where our soul astrology comes forward to help you manage your everyday life, with forecasts and deep dives on natal charts and queer perspectives on the planets, transits, and more. A group discussion about upcoming transits with tips on how to read these transits in your own chart. Hollis offers years of wisdom and natal chart knowledge with Bright Hawk's positive perspective and Lacrosse's inquiry. We offer the complete queer astrology experience. Welcome to Rainbow Soul. Please help us by subscribing, sharing, and commenting and reviewing. You can also learn where else Rainbow Soul is offered on our website at rainbowsoul.show.
Hello, welcome to Rainbow Soul Astrology Forecast. I'm glad you're here. It's good to have you with us today. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope everyone's tuning in. We're not exactly having the easiest time of going live inside the groups. For whatever reason, Facebook is just not working accurately, which is a little bit frustrating, actually, because the whole reason we moved our schedule was to be live and get interaction, but now we're getting less of that because we can't connect to the group. So here we are, and I appreciate all of you for the ones that are tuning in right now. We appreciate that. We appreciate your comments and your likes and things like that. We appreciate all that. Okay. And it looks like we're getting there. We're getting there. More people are tuning in. So this week we're going to do a forecast. We actually have a lot of shifts going on. So there's actually a lot going on astrologically. Hi, Georgette. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. So good to have you with us. We are actually having couple of astrological forecasts that we'll be talking about. So first we're going to do a meditation. Then we'll talk about the general shifts. And then I'll focus in on one of those. Apparently you're a thumbs up head.
All right. That's
Hi,
me.
Waters. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Okay. I'm so glad you're here, Waters. And then, so first we'll do the guided meditation. Then we'll do like a little sort of general broadcast. And then I'll go through each zodiac sign and give you a good idea of what it would be like if whatever your sun sign is, your rising sign, or your moon sign, okay? And if you don't know what they are, I encourage you to get your chart. You can get it for free at astro.com, and you can tap into this powerful way of guiding and leading your life. Hi, Courtney. Welcome. It's so good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Happy New Year. Kiki Law is a cusper. That means that they're in between two zodiac signs.
Cool,
it means that
me too.
It means that their sun is like in between two signs. What cusper are you, Kiki? All right.
It's fascinating. I'm a cusper. I call myself a Sagicorn because I'm literally the last half minute of Sagittarius.
Really?
29 degrees in like 24 seconds or something crazy like that. And
Kiki's a Capricorn Aquarius.
Oh,
what an interesting
right,
mix that
month.
might be.
Yeah.
Although I wonder about that because like Capricorn, their feelings can sometimes be very grounded.
Just so people know, Capricorn, of course, is a cardinal sign, beginning of the season, right? Beginning of winter. It, of course, is ruled by Saturn, and Aquarius is ruled also by Saturn, which is rare, and it's what do they call traditional. In modern, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So those are two very interesting energies, very different energies. Earth energy, air energy.
Kiki's Saturn return was probably like wham.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Powerful and
wow.
Whatever, hopefully in good ways, but no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt.
Woo!
Huge changes, huge shifts in your life.
Like things you can't ignore kind of stuff, right?
Right. Hi, Veronica. Welcome. I hope you're here. Thanks. She said, hope you're well. Capricorn, January 17th, actually.
Oh, happy
Thanks
birthday
for being
coming
here.
up.
Welcome.
Coming up. Happy birthday to all the Caps. Yeah, our grandson just had his birthday, 7 years old on Friday.
I think it will be. I think it will be an interesting time for you, this Pluto and Aquarius time, Kiki. I bet it'd be very transformative as well. All right, so let's get our guided meditation in, and then we're going to take a few moments. Then we'll deep dive into the astrology, and we will end with each zodiac sign. I'll look at each zodiac sign and let you know how your week will be, and I will also I'll also pull some tarot cards at the end. Okay. All right. Are you ready, Brighthawk?
I am.
All right, everyone. Take this moment. Take a few deep breaths. Become present in your body, in the here and now. Feel yourself centered and connected to the earth. And feel yourself looking up at the beautiful stars. And as you stare up into the stars, two constellations across the sky from each other, they're lit up. And as you focus in on one of them, you realize this constellation is Virgo. Virgo is grounded, nurturing, earthy, natural, feminist, and strong. And Virgo is very practical and earthy. And as you stare at the Virgo constellation, a light lights up and takes you across the sky, across the sky to Pisces, the ocean of emotion, feeling like a fish in water, feeling your emotions and others, intuitive, and in this, Pisces just wants to have fun, party, and enjoy life. And as these two opposites stand across the sky from each other, we are reminded that even opposites have things in common. Like nurturing, a connection to intuitive feelings, intuition. And as these two signs light up in the sky in front of you, you recognize that these two signs are in everyone's chart. Everybody has a little Virgo, and everybody has a little Pisces. And as you come back into your body, feeling your bottom on the chair, feeling yourself centered and grounded, I invite you to wiggle your toes and open your eyes and stretch your fingers. Come back to the here and now Rainbow Soul Astrology forecast. Woohoo! Good job, Bright Hot. Great job. All right, my friends. Well, I hope that you were able to connect with those two very opposites signs, because they are a big part of our story this week, along with a couple of other shifts that are happening, but it will be a big part of our experience. And, you know, this is for the week of this week, January 6th through the 12th. And I think, you know, there's a lot of literally shifts. Like we got Mars moving.
Right. We'll get to it all in here in a little bit, but there's absolutely a number of things taking place. So if it wasn't a significant day, because there's so many, every day of the week is significant, but we only have a certain amount of time to talk about the whole week in general. So I've been trying to simplify the charts to really focus on the moments of change, the days where planet might be moving signs, which everyone is going to feel. That happens a number of times this week. And then, of course, the end of the week, which is where the meditation was leading us, the lunar nodes, the south node and the north node will be switching signs. And when they do this, everybody feels it. They'll be moving into Virgo and Pisces, as you might have guessed from the meditation. So we'll get to that. That's like I'm sort of getting ahead of myself, but that is where we're headed.
That's just our sort of, you know, preview. We will go into how this will affect you as your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign. Now, we have our slides here. Some people really like to see the charts. So here they are. And is this for today? Yeah, this is for today. And, you know, today is the sun's in Capricorn. I feel like we're pretty strong in that energy. We're very grounded right now. A lot of people are like, okay, let me get my habits done, which is funny that we always do New Year habits in Capricorn season. It's actually really good because Capricorns are good at habits. Generally, Capricorns are good at starting and keeping habits. They're pretty steady. They steadily, you know,
Saturn, taskmaster.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You know, and you know, we also have Venus in Pisces. So Venus just entered Pisces earlier last week. So maybe you felt that might have had something to do with a relationship or money, most likely. And maybe you felt that come in. Maybe you felt that come into your house, into Pisces. And if you've had kind of and it was probably kind of a good thing, mostly. But what I want to say that is that Mars has been retrograde. So if you have been like, what is going on? Mars is retrograde and it just moved to today. Was it today? Yeah,
Mhm.
today out of Leo and into Cancer. And I think when we get to that, like
So-
Mars and Leo is like about doing the right thing, but when it's retrograde, it's like, it kind of
So-
feels like that.
All I can think is fire. Mars is fire, rules Aries. Fire. It's in Leo. Fire. Right. So it's happy in Leo. It's perfectly happy in Leo. But now it steps back into watery Cancer. Now, what happens when heat meets water?
Lots of steam. But you probably to apply that in your life, you're probably thinking about how you nurture yourself.
Right.
How do you feed yourself? How do you take care of yourself?
Yeah.
And you're reviewing about the actions that you take and how they feed you
Right.
or not.
Yeah.
So, you're probably reviewing your own physical habits, especially since it is the beginning of the year. And here's Tanya. Tanya says, I'm a Capricorn, January 2nd, and I can say I'm good at habits.
That's
See?
great.
It's a
That's
funny
great.
thing.
That's great.
Yeah. Generally,
2 weeks, they say, everybody. 2 weeks. If you want to form a new habit, 2 weeks. Do it every day for at least 2 weeks, and then it won't be a big deal. It'll just feel positive. And that's honestly what we spent our last 2 weeks doing, was creating new habits, making sure we were doing our yoga and meditation every morning. And, because we'd gotten loose with it, and sometimes we were, and most times, but not always. And last 2 weeks, we've just been totally committed, and it's been really fun. And I'm grateful for new habits and good habits.
Yeah, and a little bit of daily meditation goes a long way, I think, for most of us.
Absolutely.
So, if you're reviewing that and you're feeling like, and the interesting thing is Cancer rules like the chest and digestive system area, like the whole middle part of your body. And Mars is going retrograde, meaning it might not be operating correctly. You might need to adjust maybe your diet or something else that's going on. Or you might need to revisit how you're doing school if you happen to be in school or learning. Cancer rules learning and things like that. So I would just say that, that Mars retrograde there, it is kind of powerful. It is strongly in Cancer now. And we probably mostly felt it, but you may just not have realized what was going on.
Right. And, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, just remember Mars retrograde. This is a time to review, to be careful, not to be aggressive. Retrograde Mars can really boomerang and have a backfiring effect. If somebody goes after something aggressively, it could end up coming back on you, especially if you're not in the right. So if you're doing the right thing and somebody comes at you, don't be surprised if it boomerangs on them. If you're in the right, that's the thing, So definitely retrogrades are always a time for review. That's what it means. So when Mars enters Cancer, reviewing home, healthy habits, self-care, that's all a good thing.
Great. And we have a Aries moon, but tomorrow okay. It looks like
Tuesday's chart was incredibly similar to Monday's chart.
That's fine.
And then of course Wednesday is when the headline is that Mercury moves into Capricorn, out of Sagittarius and into Capricorn. So
and
that's
Mercury,
a big one for everybody.
Mercury, everyone's going to feel that. But let me just say, Mercury rules your communication. It also rules transportation. But it's moving out of a fun, sort of worldly, upbeat sort of sign into more of a party sign, into Capricorn, which is more grounded, steady, mountain climbing. Hopefully your car will climb mountains, right? And Mercury, so in our communication, we could assume that our communication could be more could be more grounded and more direct, if you get what I'm saying there. So you might want to pay attention to that, how you're communicating. And since it's also, it looks like it's also in a perfect square to the nodes. So it's in a T square to the nodes. So what you're saying and communications that you're putting out there and things like that, they might be very important. They might be really important. So pay attention to what you're saying. Try to be present in your words, especially today and tomorrow. Just when Mercury first moves in, rest of the time it's in Capricorn. It will eventually come into contact anything you have in Capricorn. So those people will feel that on those days more powerfully in the weeks to come.
Right. And those of you who have been listening with us for a while, you've heard me talk about the void of course moons. And that's the moment when the moons change signs. So the moon is always moving through, probably about every 2.5 days is what I would say, the moon changes signs. And at the end of that period, before it changes signs, there's a void moment. And last several weeks, we have seen some really significant full days of void of course moon times, which means the moon is at its lowest energy. It's a no drama time. It's a good self-care time. So I told you, we don't always have those big long windows. This is one of those weeks where it happens so fast you don't even notice. 15 minutes, 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just really short. And then I think at the end of the week, there's maybe a 4-hour one, but it's like midnight to 4 a.m. at Saturday to Sunday. So, which is great if you're on a night shift kind of thing, probably.
So Wednesday, Mercury will move into Capricorn.
Yeah.
So you might want to just pay attention to how you're communicating. Be sure you don't go too cold on people, and try to tap into that Taurus moon or that Venus in Pisces with that unconditional love. I think we're going to be doing just fine. Even though Mars has moved back into Cancer, we might be having some personal journeys regarding our own self-care and how we nurture ourselves. All right. So as we move on to Thursday.
The headline on Thursday is there's a big grand trine in Earth. So that involves the sun. Everybody feels it. Of course, the sun is in Capricorn, the south node, and Moon and Pluto are currently conjunct. And so it's a pretty big grand trine.
Yeah, I see the grand trine there. And
did I say Moon and Pluto? I meant Moon and Uranus. I apologize.
Alexa, stop.
So,
and yeah,
and pretty soon, not for I would say next week it'll be more relevant. The sun will be conjuncting Pluto, but right now, for this grand trine, we're talking about the sun, Uranus, and the moon, and the south node.
Yeah, and those nodes are really powering up because they're about to leave. Libra and Aries. The last couple of years, we've had a lot of themes about change regarding relationships and the people we're in relation with versus being independent. We may have been pushed into independence. Hopefully you listened. And you listen to that guidance because, the North Node is pushing you towards independence on purpose and pushing you away from relationships that no longer serve you. And as you go forward this week into Friday, it looks like there's also I feel like the nodes are sort of amping up for this. They're sort of amping up to get ready to move, to get ready to change. And there is a mystic rectangle. I see the mystic rectangle having a lot to do with the nodes and Pluto and Mars. What does the mystic rectangle mean? It has a lot to do with these things are spiritually meant to happen. They're meant to come true. Things are meant to unwind this way. This is about spiritual things that are meant to unwind in this time in order for other things to happen. And sometimes it's a very long story, let me just say. Sometimes it's a long unfolding. It could take years for certain things to unfold, especially when there's certain destinies in mind. And so that's what the Mystic Rectangle is about. It's about things coming together easily that are meant to happen, that are sort of destined in a way to come together in a good way, in an easy way, in order for some spiritual higher purpose, for some sort of higher purpose that maybe we didn't really recognize.
And the other reason I put this chart in there is that Jupiter and the moon are conjunct in Gemini, which is a very friendly, very your thinking might change, your delight in somebody's networking, social something could be really wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But
you
it could also
not like someone because Jupiter's retrograde.
And it's squaring. I just looked at that squaring Saturn and Venus.
Yeah.
So
you're probably not going to like somebody's
that
girlfriend, or
that could happen.
You're not going to like this person. Yeah, some person you have to deal with. It might depend. It's okay. It's funny. Yeah. I do it too sometimes. It's funny. Yeah, it's squaring Venus is also squaring Saturn.
Yeah.
So it makes me feel like there might be a couple involved with Saturn and Venus there. So anyway, so that's Friday.
Changed, yeah.
That's Friday. So there are some shifts. So you're going to feel, you're feeling Cancer. You're feeling Mars into Cancer today. Wednesday, you're going to feel Mercury into Capricorn. And then on Saturday, this weekend, and I assure you it's going to be powerful, the beginning of a couple year story will begin, because this is the North Node will move into Pisces, which is about your destiny and where you're going, where you're headed. So you're headed towards the North Node. The South Node is where you came from. So, and it's in Virgo. So it might be letting some things go. It might be, maybe letting some things go that no longer serve you, like perfectionism or obsessive thinking or something like that. It could also have to do maybe with the way you take care of yourself or something like that. Especially maybe you're learning to have a good time. But there's going to be two eclipses this year that will be in this axis of Pisces, which is very emotional and intuitive, and it tends to bring an awakening energy. It also can push people sometimes to a more partying vibe, and more like, let's have a good time, let's have a few drinks, where Virgo is like, no, I want to eat healthy. I want to, Virgo is a total nerd when it comes to health. And also when it comes to the earth, when it comes to grounding with Mother Earth and connecting to Mother Earth, even in spiritual ways, I'd say of all the earth signs, Virgo is the most spiritual, because it's connected to the planet Earth and it's connected to the goddess. And so Virgo tends to honor the animals and honor the food and stuff like that. And Pisces is a little bit more like ocean of emotion, like taking a swim in the ocean and feeling our emotions, feeling everyone else's emotions, maybe sometimes taking on other people's emotions, and often a deep sacrifice for something. And so what is that sacrifice? So in this year, if I'm sure you felt the eclipses last year. It will depend on where the Aries Libra axis is in your chart. So you want to look, you can see here that the North Node, it kind of looks like an N. See at the top of the chart, it's in Pisces right next to Neptune. So I think we might have some delusions coming first. I think we're going to be working through these delusions this year, while Neptune and the North Node go like this. Okay. While they cross paths, I think we're going to be working through illusions, religiosity, spirituality. What does that mean? What is it? What is religion's place in our culture and things like that?
May it mean that we all wake up in a good way to the truth of humanity and oneness, and that we are all connected, and awareness of, what's true, what's right, what's loving, what's
Absolutely.
kind.
I'm sure a lot of that will happen because Pisces is generally that in the light, and eventually in the next couple of years, we will be coming into that. We will be realizing, and with Saturn in Pisces, one of the times that Saturn was in Pisces in our past was like the whole hippie love and peace movement. Remember that in the 60s? Well, that happened before in the 60s. Saturn was in Pisces. And so I just want to point out that could absolutely happen. It's absolutely happening again. In case you haven't noticed, a lot more people are like, oh, just love each other, be good to each other. There's a lot more of that, and it's sort of brewing under the surface underneath our illusions, because it's an illusion that we're all separated. It's an illusion that we're not on the same team. It's an illusion that there's a divisive thing going on in the world right now. That's an illusion. I assure you, it's an illusion. And I think that's what Neptune will be talking about as Neptune leaves Pisces later this year.
Yeah, that'll be a big moment because it's a slow mover. It's generational, a planet that we often talk about, the outer planets, as generational planets because they move so slowly and impact us all in generational ways, because they stay in a sign for, Pluto 20 years.
Yes,
Neptune,
Veronica.
15 years.
Yes, Veronica, they're scammers. Just please block them. I can't get rid of them in this moment.
Asking and
hi Rosa.
Sure.
Hi. And hi Sue. If anyone's messaging you privately and saying anything, they're full of crapola. Yeah. So just ignore them. They're liars. Okay. That's scammers. It's a very typical thing.
It's very hard to do this without them. For some reason, it's just.
Yep. And I think that has a lot to do with Neptune. Because Neptune is about illusions, right? And we're all learning how to not fall for the scammers. We're learning very quickly, actually. I think humans are learning. I know that my community in itself is really learning how to manage in this time of excessive scamming, and all that kind of stuff is just not, it's not as strong as it was. All right.
Are you going to do the individuals?
Yeah, now I'm going to do the individuals. Okay. I just have to finish setting it up. And so what happens here is I'm about to share with you the transit chart for, I'm actually going to focus. I will take into account everything I see very quickly, but I'm also going to take into account for the, oops, look at that. I'm going to take into account the nodes, because I think that that's like a pretty big deal. Just because it's, how can I say, it's, it's meant to, that when the nodes move, it moves for all of us. And if you happen to have anything in Pisces or Virgo, you will definitely feel this. Okay. It will definitely be something you can feel. And I'll try to tell you where in your life you can feel it. Now, if you don't have, if those are empty, what we call empty houses for you, what you want to do is look at the ruler of that house, ruler of that sign. So that would be for Pisces, it would be Neptune or Saturn, Neptune or Jupiter, and for Virgo, it would be Mercury. Okay. So you want to look at where that is if you really want to read your chart. But most of you are kind of a little bit more new to yeah, I agree. Autodidact, I agree. Scammers are everywhere. No platform is immune. I agree. Totally agree.
Unfortunately.
Oh my gosh, Tanya, you're so funny. That's the way I feel about it. That's awesome. I hope we get the 60s again. I missed the first time. But the thing about the 60s is, if you remember, they were going against the war. They were, there was a lot of drugs and people were dying of them, and that's happening now. A lot of the same things are happening. It is very similar. A lot of people are dying of drug overdoses. We are starting to say no, no, no to the war, right? We don't want war. We're trying to fight against that. And yeah, there's also a whole set of the community that's experimenting with polyamory and love, and and that was the beginning of that movement, was in the 60s with free love, right? So um so Tanya, Pisces and Virgo are both intercepted in my chart. So Tanya, so that means that unless you have planets there, you may not notice it that much. Oftentimes when a sign is intercepted, especially if there's no planets there, you just kind of don't notice it. Not that it's not happening, but you tend to sometimes not notice it. Okay. And that autodidact said, I have a lot of Pisces placements. I feel I was born already awake, probably. So it's a relief that so many people are becoming aware. It takes some pressure off. I totally get it. Totally get it. Sometimes when you're born like that, you're like, can everybody please catch up? Okay, so I'm glad that you dove big into your spirituality with all those Pisces placements. Well done, well done.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna share the transit chart so you can take a look and see what I'm looking at. Some people really appreciate being able to see the chart. Okay, and so what you're looking at here is a transit chart starting for actually Sunday. Okay. Because I need the nodes to move each hour. I need them to move. Sorry, I went the wrong way. Okay. There we are. So I just need them to move so that I can show you guys what's happening for you. So we'll start with Pisces. So Pisces, the north node is moving into your sign. So if you have a Pisces sun, a Pisces moon, or a Pisces rising, I just want to let you know the north node is on its way. It's about to bring major destiny to your door. It's about to come knocking on your door with the north node there. It's really going to be a big impact on you, particularly if it's your sun or your moon or your rising, any of those three. I can see how in the sun, for you, it's going to be about your identity. It's really going to be strong about your identity of who you are and what life is about. And maybe how sometimes relationships, you don't need the perfect relationship. And actually, you be focusing on yourself, focusing on your awakening, your life, your identity. And that's really going to be going on for you for the next 2.5 years. And you're really going to start coming into it this weekend. You're really you could have some aha moments, particularly if your moon is there. You could have moments of like, oh, I really emotionally, really feel some sort of emotional awakening or something like that. That's really strong for you. And that will be really important for you in the coming couple of years, especially the eclipse. Pay attention to the eclipses this year, Pisces. You will need them. Okay. And as we move on to Aries, I want to say that Aries, this is for Aries sun, Aries moon, Aries rising. Okay. So you may not see where this is all going, and there could be some things around work or your day-to-day life that are changing, that you're shedding, that you're letting them go, but you're not really sure where you're headed. It's actually kind of invisible. It's kind of like, I can't even see where it's going right now. Where am I headed with this? You could feel a little unsure because of that. It could also bring in sort of mysteries or awakenings to you, like psychic things that you don't quite understand while you're shedding away more of the practical you, especially in day-to-day life. Maybe you're starting to meditate more or something, and you're having some awakenings that you're not quite making sense of. This could also have a little bit to do with your relationship with institutions, hospitals, nursing homes, things like that. That could also be shifting, particularly from your day-to-day life to your, and you may just not see where it's going, but it will happen over the next 2 years or so. While the nodes are transiting these two signs, it will be the North Node is in your 12th house. And so that tends to be something we don't usually see. Okay. Just because it's, next to our rising sign. So we tend not to see what's about to go down. And then when we get into Taurus, I would say that for you, Taurus, a very similar thing is happening for you, but it will be sort of grounded in letting go. That's going to be the important part. Letting go. You're going to more resonate with the letting go part, the Virgo part, the earthy part. And while that letting go might be an emotional process, you probably are going to really begin letting go, which is a big deal for a Taurus, okay? Huge deal for Taurus, sun, rising, or moon. This is a huge deal for you because it's really going to affect your life. It's really going to pull you forward. It's going to propel you forward, but you're not sure where, but you've got to let this go. And as you let this go, Taurus, as you move away from this and you change this day-to-day life thing, it could be your job, it could be habits or something to do with your health or your wellness. You could be letting that go. And as you move forward, it is your destiny. You're not sure where you're going yet, but you'll get there. Don't worry about it, Taurus. You got this. Just go, because once you get going, Taurus, no one's stopping you. And you know that about yourself. It's just the way Taurus is. Taurus can sometimes be hesitant to take off, but happy to go once they're going. Now for Gemini, I want to say that I want you to be aware and pay attention this weekend as the nodes move in. There could be something going on with your romantic life or your children, or maybe the things you create if you're a very creative sort. Pay attention to that. What are you letting go in that way? What are you moving away from? And instead, who are you meeting? Who has come into your life? North Node and Pisces in the 11th house is very much like who's coming into your life to bring blessings. Maybe they have a little bit of power over you, but they're going to help you. And so this is actually a really good thing about moving, changing maybe the way you're doing your creativity or changing the way your romantic relationship is, or it could also be in shifting your relationship with your children. It's definitely going to change who's in your life day to day, who your friends are, and who the people are in your life that are influencing you the most. And that's for Gemini sun, Gemini moon, or Gemini rising. Okay, now for Cancer, my Cancer friends, oh my gosh, first of all, Mars is retrograde in your sign. So I'm just going to say, okay, so you could be already having kind of an ouchy time right now. So don't get too upset about it. Know that will pass by February, whatever's going on for you, whatever's happening for you with the moon also there this weekend. You could be feeling really sensitive. Okay, really sensitive this weekend with Mars retrograde. If things not quite going your way, maybe you could feel a little sick or something, or just feeling down or depressed or something. And with the moon there, it's gonna amplify that feeling, okay? And you're probably going to have a hard time talking about it. You're probably not going to be very good at communicating exactly what you're feeling. Maybe you don't really understand it. But what I want to tell you, in the years to come, you're going to be moving away from possibly your home. Literally, you could literally be moving away from your home or something that has to do with your childhood home, like maybe moving away from an old habit or something. And this is going to push you towards a really exciting part of your life, a really special, important part of your life that will really inspire you to do better in the world, to bring something special to the world. So, my Cancer friends, hang in there. You're going to get through this. It will all change in the spring. And then this summer with the eclipses, everything's going to change for you. It's going to shift and you're going to feel it. And here it comes. So just hang in there. It's going to have a lot to do, like I said, with moving away or letting go of your home. Maybe you're literally moving, or it could also have something to do with like letting go of something from your childhood home, where you grew up or how you grew up, or maybe some trauma or something like that. Okay. So just know that you are changing. You are in a transformation, and no doubt the universe is unfolding exactly as it should. Now, for Leo, Leo, for Leo, sun, moon, or rising, what I really want you to pay attention to is notice how you are moving away from the community that maybe you grew up in, or maybe our culture, or maybe even communicating the normal way. And instead of getting in touch with that, you're going to be moving towards a more spiritual, higher learning. And that's really what you're going to be called to learn, Leo. Leo sun, Leo rising, you're really going to be called forward to be growing in your higher learning. Could be like spiritual higher learning, or literally going to college. Okay. Like literally changing, and it's going to shift in the next 2.5 years. You're going to have major awakenings around the eclipses. So pay attention to those and notice that with that North Node in Pisces in the 9th house, it's really pushing you. And, Mars is, the next time it visits your sign, it will be going forward and it will be going fast. So you probably won't notice that too much, except the things you've been dealing with will probably be resolved by then. When Mars goes direct this spring, you'll feel, oh, okay, now finally things are resolving. And you just trust that that's going to happen this spring. All right. And as we go forward, that's for Leo, sun, moon, and rising. And next one is for Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. Now, remember, Virgo, the South Node is moving into your sign. What does that mean? Well, it's probably going to have to do with you letting go of something. You're probably going to have to let go of probably something to do with money or values, something you have to move away from, something that's no longer serving you. You can feel that, Virgo. I know you can feel it. You can feel that feeling of letting that go, that earthy manifestation, that need to manifest, whatever it is about money, because it's pushing you actually more towards other people's money, which is an interesting thing, because the North Node will be in death. It will be in the house of death, or other people's money, or taboo topics. So that could even be like astrology or psychic things or stuff like that. So with the South Node in the second house for you, it's really about money and values. And that's what you're going to be letting go of, my Virgo friend. And then as you're going forward, just be prepared to maybe, you want to make sure that you handle other people's money with responsibility and respect, right? Because Virgo is very, very much a hardworking sign. So Virgo is very much like, oh, I know the value of $1, right? So that's Virgo. Virgo is very strong in that. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the value of $1 comes into play for you for the next couple of years. And that's going to be playing out during the eclipses. Be aware of that, because you'll have the lunar eclipse will sort of go, aha. And then 2 weeks later at the solar eclipse, you'll figure out, start taking action on that, whatever it was that you had that aha moment about. Okay. So that's really, Virgo, you're really going to feel this. You're really probably going to be letting some things go, particularly wherever your Virgo is in your chart will also tell you part of the story. And it might have something to do with money and values. Okay, so money and values is really what you'll be letting go of, and you'll be moving towards other people's money and possibly an illusion of other people's money too, at least for a little while. And now as we move into Libra, Libra, this is for Libra, sun, moon, and rising. Okay, so Libras, I want you to really notice how how you're whatever you're letting go of, you probably won't notice it that much. It'll just kind of fall off, okay? And you'll just be like, okay, well, I can't be doing that. Beware of letting go of habits that are not exactly good for you. Maybe you might take a deep dive and maybe drinking too much or using drugs too much. Be aware of that. Also, Libra, I would be aware that something's going to change in your day-to-day life. Hopefully, it's a good thing. Hopefully, lots of great things will be coming into your day-to-day life, and you'll be recognizing maybe some spirituality, maybe some deep intuition. Maybe you'll be really diving deep into that intuitive process and maybe letting go of that more practical perfectionist that you have, letting go of that part of you and moving more into the intuitive openness. This is for Libra, Libra sun, moon, and rising. And as you move into that more emotional openness, you'll really probably be paying more attention to your emotions these days and getting in contact with those, and possibly even your empathetic ways of, paying attention to other people's emotions. So Libra, hang in there. Don't give away yourself. Don't give yourself away, which is a habit sometimes of Libras. So instead, try to focus on bringing more spirituality into your day-to-day life, particularly if you are struggling with a drug or alcohol addiction. Okay? And Scorpio, this is for Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. Scorpio, well, let me just say, transformation. This isn't new to you, is it? Come on, Scorpio. You know how to transform. You know how to do this. Your old friends you're probably going to be changing friends. That South Node is going to be visiting your house of friends. Scorpio rising, Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon. You're going to feel some people have to go. Some people have to shed. And maybe that has to do with your children or your creative endeavors, or maybe it has to do with a new romantic relationship. So just be aware, Scorpio, in the next 2 years, you're really going to be moving away from certain people and then moving closer to other people, or possibly your child or children. Maybe you have a child, maybe you get married, some sort of romantic situation, or you could be like creating something creative. You could be diving deep into some sort of creative endeavor, because we also consider those kind of your babies, right? So that's kind of how we see it. And so so for Scorpio, what I would say is, even though some friends might be going, or some people in your life might be shedding, I would embrace that and know that there's a bright future going forward, and try not to get too upset about those changes. And you're pretty good at transformation. Scorpio, for a fixed sign, is pretty darn good at transformation, actually. All right. And so then as we move into Sagittarius, here we are, Sagittarius. You're going to be transforming this year too, of course. Now, be aware that there could be a job change. You could be finally leaving that job, right? You could finally leave. And as you finally leave and finally move on, Sagittarius, you are going to also be changing possibly where you live, or focusing more in on where you live. Maybe you'll be working from home. Or maybe you'll be focused more on something at home, particularly something emotional, and also maybe even a sacrifice. But either way, whatever you're moving away from, that work that you're moving away from, whatever that thing is you do in the world, whatever that thing is you give to the world, let it go. Just let it go, Sagittarius, and move into what's ahead. And what's ahead for you in the next couple of years, and it will start this weekend, okay? This weekend, this Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it's going to start moving into that Pisces fourth house, which is very much like, it's very much emotionality. It could very much be dealing with emotion or being home, okay? Being at home, okay? So, and it could include, like doing empathic work or counseling work, or working with others in some way that, or bringing peace either to them internally or to yourself internally. Okay. So, but it will probably be spending more time at home, Sagittarius. Okay. And as we move on to Capricorn, my Capricorn friends, Capricorn, oh, as things let go, you might be finishing up with some learning. Maybe you've already done your learning and you're finishing up with it, okay? Because you're done and you're actually moving more into community involvement. So that would mean engaging yourself with community and, maybe spiritually, emotionally, and definitely making connections with others and really realizing your place in the community as you move away from more of the higher learning part of you, or the part of you that's been like sort of engaging in sort of personal spiritual growth. Now you're going to be going outwards. You're going to be going out into the community and possibly even dealing with some things with your siblings or your cousins or other people very close to you in that way. But you'll be moving away from the learning part of things. Less lessons and more doing is what I would say, Capricorn, which I know many Capricorns are out there like, thank God, because Capricorns have been through it, right? Because Pluto has been there and it's been like, what? And so, so Capricorn, hang in there. Here comes the changes. The next 2 years, you're really going to feel this. You're really going to feel more of a community involvement. And with Mars retrograde this weekend in your 7th house of relationships, don't worry too much about it, but there could be some relationship shifts that come in. It could just be about nurturing yourself in relationships. Okay, so pay attention to that this weekend, and I'm sure that you'll be deeply connected. And don't worry, no doubt the universe is unfolding exactly as it should, and the universe will reward you, my Capricorn friend. I know you've been waiting. It's been forever, right? Okay. And for Aquarius, okay, Aquarius, you are letting that crap go, that crap that no longer serves you, known as the shadow. Are you doing some shadow work? Are you considering doing shadow work? That's what's going to be coming up for you this weekend and into next week. And for the next 2 years, you're going to be ready to let that old crap go. Let grief go. Let fear go. Let whatever's inhibiting you, whatever's holding you down, and you're going to move forward and you're going to redefine your values. You're going to redefine who you are. And I would not be surprised at all, Aquarius, if you find yourself in a situation where money becomes easier or life becomes easier and better for you, or at least more fun. Okay. So Aquarius, hang in there. You're going to be okay. Pluto's in your sign. Yes. So depending on if your Pluto is in like the first 4 degrees, you'll probably be feeling Pluto visit you. If it's in a later degrees Aquarius, you won't be feeling that for some time. Pluto doesn't usually affect what it's directly on within about 1 degree. So you really need to look where your Aquarius rising is, what the degree is, what your Aquarius moon is or sun for Aquarians. And your day-to-day life has already been changing anyway. I know that, especially with this Mars going retrograde. I know it's been shifting your day-to-day life. So just hang in there. It's leading you in the right direction, and everything's going to get you there. And you are going. It's going to be okay. All right. So
wow. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Here, let me hand these to you.
So that autodidact said, are all millennials going through a social shift like that, you think? I think, like, you mean with friends? I think what's happened is millennials have mostly been through their Saturn returns.
And Pluto has shifted. So from Capricorn into Aquarius. Aquarius is all about the we. Aquarius, is, because of Uranus, has that revolutionary, we should do this, we should try this would be better for everybody kind of thing. Aquarians are not joiners. Aquarians are not, let's do it the way everybody else did it. Not at all. A matter of fact, they can really stand back and observe and go, well, if everybody's going to do it this way, I think I'm going to do it this way.
Right?
Because that's their gift. That's what they bring. But their spiritual gift is for the greatest good of all, you know? So seeing it, and wouldn't it be better if everybody just got along? Wouldn't it be better if everyone showed each other respect, kindness, and love? Wouldn't it be better if that's Aquarius energy? And so, in a good way. So that's a great question. I would say it has a lot to do with Pluto. And then the nodes shift into Virgo Pisces. Pisces is the we, and Virgo is the earth, nurturing, taking care of everyone. A Virgo is happy when everyone's taken care of. Okay, now I can sit down and now I'm good. Now I feel so good. I can sit back and see what I've done, and everyone's happy, and I'll be happy now. Libras has that codependent thing too, but Virgo is, I think of a little more higher mind, but it's actually not mind, it's earth. It's grounded, nurturing energy. It's why so many nurses, right? Caregivers, tons of Virgos, tons of Virgos, just natural lovers.
Okay, so Christine asked, is there a way to watch this on replay? Yeah, at the end, Christine, when we're done, just go ahead. You'll be able to rewind it. But right now, since we're live, you can't quite rewind it. So you get to watch the end and then watch the beginning.
And do us a favor, because I'm not always the best at posting at all of my different sites. Do us a favor, do yourselves a favor. Click the button, subscribe to Rainbow Soul Astrology YouTube. If you become a subscriber and you hit the bell, then you'll know when we're going live. You'll know when we're posting. You'll know when something's come out.
And we'll be trying to go every Monday at 3:30, but I usually try to announce it ahead of time.
And we're always trying to put everything out there, but you know how it goes. You put it out there, it disappears, whatever. It's kind of nuts. But the surefire way to help us and to help yourselves is if you hit that little button, you subscribe on the YouTube page on Rainbow Soul, and you hit that bell. It'll tell you when we're live. And that would just be, wow, that would be amazing. If more people did that, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it helps us and it helps you, you know, because if you're live here, you can ask us questions and you can interact with us.
But Facebook has been increasingly just as weird as heck that we can't post on our own pages. We can't go live on our own pages.
I can't go live in my own group right now.
Can't go live in our own groups. It's kind of like, what? We created all this to create communities so we can share. So thanks for helping us with that and helping yourselves that way, because we really want to be doing this for you and reaching you. And golly, has it gotten hard?
Yeah,
and just
it has
so many different.
And Autodidact, I'm glad it confirmed your tarot and your other signals. That's really important. It's great to have other messages that match what messages you're getting. It feels very validating. I know for me, and I'm sure it does to you too. Jessica, thanks for sending us stars. We appreciate it. Little trickles of love. We appreciate that. It goes right into our bank account. I appreciate that. And Autodidact, content creation with the internet is a challenging, multi-talented effort. It is, isn't it? It's wow. It's like just wow.
And it's like all technology. As soon as you think you've mastered it, they change it, and then everything goes crazy.
And with Pluto in Aquarius, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a huge shift with AI. I use AI to help me with some of my content creation, particularly like website writing and things like that. But I mean, you know, I still have my own flavor of things, but I still use AI sometimes to help me with some things that, you know, I feel like it could probably do it faster. And but I still add my own style to things for sure. And I think that will be the trick with Pluto and Aquarius, because we'll get to rely on the AI a little too much, and then it will all become bland and the same. And I think that would not not always be helpful.
Yes.
So just Autodidact said GPT helps me turn my Pisces moon speak into human. Exactly. I can imagine Pisces moon speak. It may not be
That's priceless.
I'm a Libra moon, so but I'm a Virgo, so Gemini. I'm good with writing, but sometimes I like misspell things, and so I ask ChatGPT sometimes to brush it up, make it look a little bit nicer. We love you too, Jessica. Thanks for being here. I'm going to pull 3 tarot cards from the Love is Love Pride deck. This is an LGBTQ deck. Each one of these cards is done by a different LGBTQ artist, which makes this deck really special. And I'm going to pull 3 cards here for you. And let me just say, this has a lot to do with our coming week, okay? And so the first card is going to refer to what has already happened. And this is the Page of Swords. You can see here, this person has already taken action. This person had some ideas, and they're on a fresh, new path. And they could be feeling like, wow, I'm going, it's working, okay? And so that's really what this is about, is starting a fresh, new path. This new year, you've started a new year. Maybe you've started some new habits. You've taken off. They seem to be working. You seem to be going. And as you're going this week, you might notice a new you come forth, a new manifestation of yourself, a completely unique version of yourself that you've never known before, a completely new version of yourself. And let me just say, learn to love that. This is very Capricorn. This is a very Capricorn card. Actually, if you take a look, that's like a goat, which is a sign of the of Capricorn, and you can see they're on kind of a ridge. Now, of course, this is sort of like a drag queen look, but of course they're a goat, right? And so it's meant to show our uniqueness, and how unique we all are, and how each and every one of us has our own unique expression. And the Magician card is very much about manifesting that uniqueness, bringing that uniqueness forward in the way that is meant for you. So you've made some changes, new you comes through, and in the coming week, be careful not to sabotage yourself. Don't overdo it. Okay. Like, I have a habit of, oh my gosh, I start a new habit and then I overdo it. Okay. Like, I don't know. It's a Virgo thing. We like try to overdo things sometimes. So, and that's self-sabotage. Okay. So be careful not to self-sabotage yourself at the end of the week, particularly as the North Node moves into Pisces. You could be feeling particularly emotional, and recognize you don't always have to react to those emotions. You don't always have to do things. And this card is very much about self-sabotage. It's the 8 of Swords with the person completely surrounded by the swords, with their hands tied and they're blindfolded, but they have angel wings. They could literally fly away. But that's why this is self-sabotage. This is about sabotaging yourself. So try not to sabotage those good habits you got. I know a lot of people struggle. Like, you do really good for a couple weeks and then, okay, try not to sabotage yourself. I know I do it myself. So remember, those new habits, recognize what good is happening out of those habits. See the changes, feel the changes. Like me, I'm trying to lose weight. And so I might, you might be feeling like, wow, this is really great. I feel really good. Pay more attention to that than how many pounds came off on the scale or whatever. Okay. Measure yourself. The scale sometimes is a liar. Let me just say, as a person that struggled with it, it's a damn liar. Okay. And so this right here, this is about, pay attention to those changes. Pay attention to how it has felt doing that. How has that felt? You've become your own unique self. Recognize the new manifestation that has come forward. Be patient with yourself. Be slow and steady like the Capricorn. Think long term, just like the Autodidact said. Yeah. And then as we go at the end here, be careful not to sabotage yourself next weekend, particularly when the North Node goes into Pisces. Let me just say this. Yeah. If something goes wrong and you do fall off, doesn't mean you have to stay on the ground. You can get back up. One of the things that I've learned in my process of changing my lifestyle, losing weight, and such like that, and trying to make good habits is that anytime you fall off, if you forget to brush your teeth on Monday, are you going to skip brushing your teeth for the rest of the week because you were dumb and forgot to brush your teeth on Monday? Like, who does that? Don't do that. Brush your teeth, right? Okay, everybody does. So everybody messes up sometimes and you might drop it. You might sabotage yourself for a day or two, but that doesn't mean you can't pick it back up. So pick it back up. If you drop it, it's okay. Pick it back up. And that's exactly what the cards are about, especially that North Node in Pisces might catch some of us more grounded signs off. I think.
Yeah, as you were getting that, I kept seeing very clearly, I just a little bit of a warning flag about Saturday. Saturday might be challenging. Sunday, the moon comes back to Cancer. The moon comes home. Now the moon is waxing, and so things are getting more intense as the moon is waxing. It's like, what are those goals you set for the new moon? What is it that you're seeking to move forward? And then can you just let it go and see how it evolves and practice just do the next one right thing.
That's
you don't
right.
have to know it all. Just what's the next one right thing?
Right. You don't have to know where you're going.
If a project plan is too much, use a Post-it. If whatever works for you, but it's pieces at a time, and being gentle with yourself and recognizing this too shall pass. Tomorrow's another day. Literally, I'm just really feeling like there could be a really big difference between Saturday's energy and Sunday's energy.
For sure.
And so I'm just like, if you know that, and you can let us know how it goes for you.
Yeah, we'd love to hear about how it affected you.
Yeah.
Especially if you just comment on this even with your chart. You can black out your birthday or whatever if you want. And I would love to see how the nodes affected you in your chart. Okay. And if you're looking for this year's broadcast, this year's forecast for yourself, I do astrology chart readings. I will look at your natal chart and forecast for you for the upcoming year and really help you I'll give you dates and everything for the eclipses and everything so that you can feel confident going into your year and knowing that while some things might go wrong, there could be lots of things going right. So,
right. And we're considering running the Astrology 101 class again. So let us know if that's interesting to you. We put together a course that really just tries to break it down into making your chart accessible to you. So it's a 5-week course, right?
Yeah. It ends up being about 5 weeks in a row. We usually do it on the same, like a weeknight, probably.
Yeah. So if you're interested, let us know, because the students that have gone through it, they have definitely given us feedback that listening to these weekly forecasts makes so much more sense.
Sure.
And I really get it. Astrology is a language. We're so grateful that you trust us with, interpreting and sharing with you what our take on the week is from our perspective. And, our hope is that it helps your week become that much better.
Exactly. And, exactly, autodidact, they said self-care and unconditional self-love. Whoops, try again. Exactly. Unconditional self-love. How about that? And Lynette said that I have that tattooed in my mom's handwriting. This too shall pass. That's beautiful.
Good job.
Beautiful, Lynette. Beautiful. I love memorial tattoos. I have one for my dad.
That's
even
great.
So my friends, I've totally enjoyed this stream with you, and I
Very
hope
much
that you
so.
print your astrology chart and come back next Monday around the same time, and I'm happy to answer your questions about your chart. It really helps you a lot in the learning process if your chart is printed and you can look at it and you could be like, I think Virgo is in my 3rd house, Hollis, and then I can try to help you understand how that's going to affect you. Okay, so hang in there, and then you can tell me your sun's at 2 degrees Aquarius.
And for those of you who are freezing and having a lot of winter storm weather, we send you love and blessings. We send blessings to our friend Lacrosse, who is snowed in Pennsylvania. So, I hope everybody out there is safe and warm and loved and held and remembered that we appreciate you listening to Rainbow Soul Astrology. Thanks for those Thanks for subscribing. I really hope that'll help you know when we go live. And we really appreciate your questions and your interactions. We hope you have a great week. And thanks for listening to Rainbow Soul Astrology, where we try to be a bridge between you and the stars. Have a great week.
Bye-bye. Maybe.
What?
Thank you for listening to this week's Soul Astrology and subscribing, liking, sharing, and reviewing. We hope you enjoy this dose of Soul Astrology and encourage you to embrace the week ahead with an open mind and heart so that you may integrate the deepest of lessons from the stars. Take a moment to step outside and honor the planet, stars, and moon in the sky with your heart. Integrate the messages that resonate and leave the rest for someone else. We deeply appreciate each and every one of you. Always remember that you are a perfectly unique human with an exclusive star map of your destiny, your soul purpose, and your heart's desire. Thank you again for tuning in to Rainbow Soul.